Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Sean Ferrell podcast. I am Sean Ferrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Before we get started, we are like halfway through March, right? And it is 26 degrees outside. Okay? Just in case you didn't hear that again. It is 26 degrees in March, okay? Think about that for a second, okay? 26 degrees in March. Come on now. On the first day of spring, too. Well, as I often like to say, March is kind of the worst month because the weather is changing and the temperatures are gonna fluctuate in the month of March, but once April comes, the temperatures will get a bit more consistent. So the weather is changing, so temperatures are fluctuating a little bit. So yeah. So, with that being said, let's not waste no time. Let's get right to it. How many of you all out there, the audience, have heard of the broken leg depression comparison? Okay. And often depression is often compared to a broken leg. And I saw a post that said depression conversations. And it was a guy. It was a guy who said, last year I had a broken leg. They were checking on him, sending him messages, making sure everything was okay. Just making sure he was okay. And if he needed anything, they were there for him. And then he also mentioned that last year he was diagnosed with depression. And the same people that were there for him to make sure he was okay with his broken leg were not there for his depression. Okay. Excuse me. Hold on, let me see. Forgive me, I have a little bit of trouble remembering, but yeah, okay. Last year, see a ton of gifts. Yeah, so the only thing I've received from the same people who showed up aggressively last year is silence. And no, he just can't snap out of it. And he's even lost his job. And that's the reality of people who are living with a mental illness. Which is partly one of the reasons why people have trouble reaching out, or they just keep it to themselves. They just suffer in silence because too often they think that they're going to be dismissed. They're going to be thought of as attention seeking. They're going to be thought of as seen as crazy, so to speak. So, which means which is a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about. Something else I want to talk about. Why people have a hard time reaching out when they are depressed. Are reasons why someone may not be good at asking for help. They've grown up with an unequal exchange of give and take. It doesn't align with their identity / role for others. They don't want to be a burden. They don't feel worthy of love and support. They have low self-esteem. Self-reliance is all they've known. They grew up emotionally neglected and believe their needs don't matter. And so, I just mentioned how they don't want to be a burden. People who suffer in silence or don't reach out don't want to be a burden. I'm still working on reaching out. As I mentioned before, I'm not that good at reaching out. I'm not that good at reaching out. I still struggle with it to a certain degree. Still struggle with it. Reaching out to a certain degree. But, I am working on that. Working on that. Self-reliance is all they've ever known. Thought I could fix it. Thought I could fix it by myself. When I was younger, especially. Thought I could fix it by myself. But, the harder I tried to fix it by myself, the worse it got. So, they don't feel worthy of love and support. Who doesn't deal with this who doesn't deal with that? So what, who's depressed? Who doesn't deal with that? Again, it goes back to what I said. The song that Justin Timberlake had, Love Don't Love Me. No. I don't feel worthy of love and support. And people often feel guilty for having a mental illness. It affects your functioning. It affects the way you perceive yourself. It affected the way I perceive myself. Yes, it did. Like I said, we just can't snap out of it. We just cannot snap out of it by being positive. Getting out more. Just smiling. We just can't snap out of it. It's not that easy. I know it's not that easy. It's not that simple. Depression is just absolute hell, okay? It is just absolute hell. And it is a tough thing. It's tough to deal with. You got to deal with it 24/7. I have to deal with it 24/7. You, the audience, you have to deal with it 24/7. So it is hell. It's invisible. Just this past week, starting Wednesday, it was physical tiredness and it was depression tiredness. And it started Wednesday. It started Wednesday. I got a very good night's sleep Wednesday night, and thinking that would help. Nah, it didn't. Nah, it didn't. It may have helped when I was at my first job. Now, it helped when I was at my first job. But as I went into my second job, nah, it didn't help. Couldn't find them all. There was just a sense of depression, tiredness, mixed with physical tiredness and boredom. And that continued on in a Friday. The depression, tiredness, physical tiredness was so thick. And you could feel it. And you could cut it with a knife. And I was just defeated. Mentally, I was defeated. Physically, I just needed to get some rest. But mentally, I was defeated. I was defeated mentally. And I explained all this to my counselor. Explained all this. And didn't sleep particularly well Friday night. But got a pretty solid night's rest last night. So, yeah. The broken leg conversation. You should not feel guilty for having a mental illness. I didn't ask for it. People who are watching this, you didn't ask for it. And reasons why someone may not be good at asking for help were the topics that I wanted to cover today. And that's all I wanted to say. Hope everybody continues to have a restful, peaceful, tranquil weekend. This has been the Sean Ferrell podcast. May God bless you all, and I will see you all soon.